Hello, everyone. This is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and we got to talk about a sad subject today. I'm sorry to report, but there are reports that an Uber engineer, Joseph Thomas, has committed suicide, and I'm going to be approaching this subject a little bit more cautiously than I do most of my videos because I think that suicide is a very complex topic, and people do it for a variety of reasons, and it's unfortunately because they're not here anymore, we usually have no idea why they decided to do what they did or why they went down the path that they went down. But the story of Joseph, from what I understand, is that he worked at LinkedIn and was very successful there. And when Uber offered him a job, apparently it was a very well-paying job, and it offered a lot of opportunities, and he could get the dream house for his family, and he took it. But 4 months or so after starting the job, he started becoming a lot more agitated, like he was stressed out all the time. He started going to therapy with his family. He wasn't happy anymore. Apparently, the Uber workforce culture was just really, really getting to him. And then one day, he took his own life with a gunshot wound to the head. It's a disturbing story, to be certain. His wife is suing Uber for making the working conditions so unbearable at the company that it led to her husband's death. Now, she's not suing for a lot of money. I think it's a little over 700 grand. But she's also suing for basically an outside company or government officials to step in and reshape how Uber, manages its workforce. Now, of course, I need to mention up front, I don't know for certain whether or not Uber caused this man to kill himself. We just don't know. Because, if it really was just the job, you would quit that job, and he definitely had the experience to move on to another job. Now, financially, that would have put him in a bind, but it would have put the family in a bind either way, as far as I see it. So it's hard to say exactly that this is the sole reason. There's a pretty good chance, and I'm going to say there's a very good chance, as someone who has been in that position of hopelessness before, including fairly recently, to be honest, that there might have been things going on in his life that we do not know, and maybe even his wife doesn't know. And I don't know if the lawsuit will bring that to light or not. Whatever it is, I hope that the reasons are for certain revealed at some point, if for nothing else than for peace for his family. Now, here's the thing. As for whether or not Uber could have contributed to him to commit suicide, I believe it. I only believe it this much because many of the things that she was saying about him sound very, very similar to previous stories about the company we've heard before. Specifically in Susan Fowler's blog post, the company culture and work ethics that Thomas's wife has described sound almost exactly like the work environment that Susan Fowler described. So so it's not completely inconsistent. In fact, nothing's really consistent. Also, Uber did their typical, we're sorry no one should have to go through this tragedy, and they shouldn't, and we'll do an investigation. Now, of course, that's the standard reply, but it is very telling, of course, that when they contacted Uber's HR to see if any complaints had been filed or if any emails had been sent, Uber was not exactly very forthright about that information. They could not actually give any information whether or not there were complaints made. Again, this is very consistent with complaints other people have made working for Uber. And who knows, maybe his contract stated that he couldn't work for anyone else after a while. I don't know what his position was exactly, but apparently he was a top engineer. And that might have come with a few more strings attached. It's kind of like some companies and certain businesses, if you're in a high enough position, will say, okay, if you want to leave, you can leave, but can't work for this long. You know, for a very public example, when Conan O'Brien was dismissed from The Tonight Show, could not be on TV for like 6 months, so he did a tour instead. So I don't know if Uber's to blame or not. I mean, I don't think they're going to be completely to blame, but they could definitely be a contributing factor, because terrible working conditions are definitely one of the leading causes for people to commit suicide. I'm sorry to say. Others include, you know, loved ones who are no longer with them in their lives, and maybe getting to a point in your life where you think you've done all you can. To those who might be considering suicide, who might be watching this, it's you know, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's not the answer. It really isn't. I mean, if any, in fact, if you want a non-cliche answer, because I know people say, like, you know, it's a temporary solution to a long-term problem, or no, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Sorry, I messed that up completely. But really, you're passing on the problems to your family and your friends. And that, if you care about them, at the very least, please consider talking to someone first. I don't know if what happened to Joseph Thomas was completely the result of Uber, but hopefully his family can find the answers, and hopefully they can come to some relative peace regarding the situation in regards to it. I'm not even going to brag that this is another news story that Uber doesn't want on their shoulders. Of course they don't. I don't think any company wants this, because they can't be that heartless. Uber's broken enough rules this week that I can brag about them, or gloat, I should say, about them making mistakes in other videos, but not this one. So anyway, you know, folks, not that I have the biggest following in the world, not that I have the most viewers in the world, but let's truly keep the comment section clean. You know what? In fact, if someone wants to share, if they're feeling hopeless and they want to share below, feel free to do so. I will try to respond to everyone that I can. But let's be nice. You know, life is worth living. And trust me, I have gone through the crummiest and crappiest of 6 months, you know, that I could think of. I mean, it almost matches another period of time where life was just completely, it was pretty much not worth living, in my opinion. And I've kind of been feeling that way for a while. And you know what? I'm still here. I'm still here because the sun will rise another day. And, you know, we need to remember that. And we need to have a little bit of hope. So my heart goes out to the family, truly. And please be kind in the comments.